Love and give me the ragamuffin. Ragamuffin, love and give me the ragamuffin. Life is what you make it. Oh, sorry, my dear. That's my theme song. Life is what you make it. Yes. But truthfully saying, you should always put God the head of your life. No matter what status you are at, always give God thanks. I have to put on my glasses. Y'all got to excuse me for a minute. Oof. Ragamuffin, love, come give me the ragamuffin. Ooh, it's warm today. I gotta put that ear on. Okay. Back to this conversation. Oops, sorry. Back to this conversation. Oops, let me put my little. It's hot, y'all. It's hot. Okay. Back to what I'm saying. Okay, we're gonna talk about this some more, y'all, because I've been listening to a lot of content surrounding this thing about this young lady that just been found unalive in Tanzania, in in East Africa, safari place where people still kind of live primitive. you know, in some parts of that is not a very developed place. I think what makes it famous is because of this resort that they have out there, the safari resort that they have. But if you go live in some of the places like in where the people are living at, it may not look so wonderful. Um, the reason I'm talking about this more is to bring more awareness due to the fact that it has happened before, okay, with the same surname, Robinson. And as you can see in my title, I wrote what God is trying to tell us something about our values and our priorities. And God is telling us something because this already had three names with the last name of Robinson and three women that were black, different age groups, 19, 25, and 31. And especially when women reach the age, I would say 30 something, is when they really serious about wanting to settle down, have a husband, and also a family. It used to be a show that used to be 30 something that was what it was about. At 30 something, that's when people really want to probably settle their life and have children. Before we used to be younger than that. Women were 18, they got married. In some time in history, that was usually the age most women would be married and start a family. I got married at 19. That was young. Barely didn't know the man I married. Just wanted to just get married, and I wasn't really ready for all of that. And I just thank God when I look back at my life, now that I am 60, I can look back at my life and I can be thankful for a lot of things that God has shown me, and God has given me the wisdom that I can share with a lot of other young people out here. My time was a different time. I didn't have social media. We deal with people on face value, and then on top of that, we deal with people using our discernment, our wisdom. We were taught to dress a certain type of way because you don't want to attract certain kind of men or a certain type of attention. We were told not to wear makeup at a certain age. It wasn't allowed. Today, these mothers let these young girls put the eyeliners on, the eyelashes on, go get their fingernails done up, and do all kind. Teenagers do all kind of stuff. Even though teenagers always was like that as teenagers, teenagers always wanted to, go through that phase in life where they just want to look beautiful and they like looking cute, and that's where their mindset is focused on, their outer beauty. So that's normal for a teenager to feel that way, but you also got to talk to them. You know, you just can't say, oh, well, that's what they do today, so let it go. No, you got to sit down and have a conversation with your children. No matter how old they get, every step in life that they go, ages and stages, you are to teach them the things they need to know along the way. They never get old enough to you. You always got to be ahead of the game. I tell that to, I don't have birth biological children of my own, but I have a lot of foster children. I mean, I wouldn't say foster, but I had a lot of children that I basically raised. I had taken some part of in their early life development. Even with family children, they don't want to listen to me now, but I tell them I'm ahead of the game. You know, regardless of how you feel about me, you know, I'm the elder. You are still considered the child, and you are to respect your elders. I'm not doing anything to harm you. I'm only trying to help you along the way. It's not to harm you. And these young people today, they have no filter, and they also have no discipline system. They don't know how to take directions very well. They don't. They just automatically want to shoot off with the mouth. They automatically want to say they grown, they know it all, and they think they know it all, but you don't know nothing until you live through the experience. And I'm just going to try to warn you before you go the wrong route. And at least by me giving you the warning, at least I'm saving your life. Whether you going to speak to me again in life or not. You know, I have a family member now. They mad at me, but you know what? I don't care. Because my young people in the family, I don't play with them. I don't just let them go and do what they want to do or say what the hell they want to say without checking them. And you know what? The thing about it is I'm very unapologetic about it because I know when I'm right, I'm right. When I got to say something to you and you don't want to listen, I know what I'm right about when I'm saying to you. Especially when I know I went through the experience for it myself. That's why I say you always, as an elder to your family or a parent, you have the upper hand. This young lady should have never been able to be allowed to go off to a foreign country, miles and thousands of miles away, and only God knows how much it costs to get there and the danger of going there to get her body and to try to transport her back to the United States of America. That is very, very expensive. And she might have an insurance policy. She might have an insurance policy. So that's what I said. They need to look into her insurance policy and try to get that body on the plane and back to the United States. And but they still want to do the investigation in Tanzania, whatever that African name country is. Only thing I know, I had a girl that worked with me. She was from Tanzania, and she looked like she was like Somalian. Okay, either she looked Somalian, or she looked like she was from India, because that part of Africa, the features over there, they get a little finer in East Africa. And most of the time or whatever like that, is either the French are over there. They speak, I don't know the language over there. I don't really know much about East Africa, to be honest with you. I'm just learning East Africa as we go along, listening to this story, and also about the Somalians that live here in the United States of America that just don't want to get the fuck up on out of here. Okay? But I'm just saying, I don't mean to say it like that, y'all. But I'm just saying, when you go to these other foreign countries and everything, you don't really know much about the culture there, the language, the diets, the food, the lifestyle. You just going for the adventure. You have to be very careful of traveling so far away from home. And you try to tell this to young adults today, and they just don't freaking listen. I got family member kids that do this. They promote, traveling and everything. I'm not a traveling person. Never was. Never was. I haven't even been to all the 50 something states in the United States of America. I think I've been in 3. Here where I'm at now is Delaware. I lived in New York. South Carolina, oh, Texas and Florida. I would say five. I would try to say five. Okay? At least five states in the United States of America because it's a big state, it's a big country. So it's all kind of other different places to go. I don't know if it was necessary if he really cared that much about her. Why would he want to take her so far away to propose to her to engage get for her birthday and for a proposal? Wouldn't you want to do that around the family and friends so they can feel comfortable with you and her being together, or you want to share that special moment with people that are close to her, especially around her family? Why would any man want to take you all the way across to another world, to another third world country to propose marriage to you? That's something that you usually do in the company. You invite the family over and the friends, and y'all have dinner together, and you get to meet each other and greet each other, and you get to do your proposal. And especially if they've been dating all this time, what more do mom know about this man? What more do dad knows about this man besides him having money? Did they ever do any thorough investigation about him before he got hooked up with their daughter? Like, I know some fathers that be like, what kind of work he do? Okay, what kind of work he do? Okay, I'm gonna find out. He married? He got any kids? He a playboy, or do like, go? There's all kind of ways you could go look up a person, and you just get. And some people just see the money signs of how, oh, she hit the jackpot. Oh, he's a good dad. But you need to go a little bit more further than just looking at the bag and looking at the grams. Okay, you need to go a little bit more further in this person's life to know if this person you feel comfortable with being with your daughter. Would you feel comfortable with somebody like, especially a man half her age? All right, she's 31. He was almost 50. He's been married before to another black woman, or multicultural mixed woman, or whatever she was. And then on top of that, from what I understand, he's been married. He had children, multiple children from different women that he's been with. And for these children to grow up to have a father, if I ain't gonna even say allegedly, okay? I'm just gonna keep it 100% real here. I don't care. I'm not gonna talk sugarcoat none of this because we know that this man has something to do with it. It's too many red flags there. It's just too many. It's just too obvious. He took this woman out of the United States of America into a foreign country. Then on top of that, they videotaped. They had a videotape of all kind of stuff that they were doing while they were out there. Her day of celebrating their engagement, and then her birthday. Him, her birthday that morning. Her safari trip. I mean, they safari, things that they did. And that seems to be playing the most, but there's other things that probably went on too that she showed of them having a time in their vacation out in this foreign place. They showed pictures of them in other places too that they traveled. So I guess the family could have felt comfortable that they did things locally. They did go to New Orleans. They showed them at the castle in New Orleans. They showed them at Dubai on a plane to Dubai. One place I will never go. Okay, and too many Americans love to go over there. They enjoy the adventure and excitement, but I don't feel comfortable with traveling to especially Muslim countries. Okay? I just don't do that. I don't mess with the Muslim countries because I daily want to deal with them here in the United States of America. So I damn sure don't want to go to deal with them in their own country and go live over there or visit over there or anything. I just try to stay the hell as far as I can away from them because of the culture and because of the culture clash and our different beliefs and faith and everything. So to keep the peace, I just stay the freak away from them. Okay? Not going nowhere where I feel like I'm just gonna have a problem with being around you. Right? So it's just it is what it is. Nobody forced you to be around, but people like to go out there and explore with other people's culture and everything. I explore with their asses right here in the United States of America, and they annoy the shit out of me. Okay, not all, but the ones who just get here and then it's just and that's why I say everybody should stay in their own damn country. Just stay in your own country, visit, but get the hell on out of there. Don't try to stay too long. Yeah, that's the way. That's just the way I feel. Just visit and get the hell up on out of here. Immigration need to be stopped all the fucking together. If you ask me, everybody need to just stay in their own damn country. A new heaven and a new earth about to emerge after this one is destroyed with nuclear. Oh, I don't know about all of that. I don't know nothing about that. God didn't say that to me. God said life will go on as long as you got God in your life and God is in your heart and God is in your thoughts throughout the day. I ain't worried about no death and no destroying no world or nothing like that. But anyway, like I said, if anything, they're gonna destroy themselves with their own nuclear weapons. And leave the innocent people that trying to live right and be here in this earth and do what's right for the Lord to be here. And those who just don't, get the hell up on out of here. That's the way I feel. Life is life. People, the human mind, human mind is changing because of the way things are today. Too much global, too much everybody in everybody's else's life instead of being in their own life. Just around the things that you can do to help change the things that's around you. And you take a part of what's around you, not in no foreign damn country. Y'all got to work out y'all problems in your own damn country. That's the way I feel, because we got our problems here too. Well, I guess that's where they going, Abadia. They going to hell. People just don't want to listen about how to live. And that's where they going to go. They going to hell. But like I said, this is a weirdness for these people that go over to these foreign countries, going on these romantic, extravagant trips. And the next thing you know, somebody ends up coming back in a body bag. We saw this happen before. This ain't no coincidence because the Shanquilla, what happened to Shanquilla Robinson should have never, ever been ignored or never went without justice. It was so much evidence there that these people did this girl dirty and wrong and killed her right then and there. They saw the evidence. They saw her being beaten by this burly girl inside of her supposed to be in the bedroom that she was staying in, a master bedroom or something like that. How they would cry, others was watching and filming, and nobody came to her defense. And when the video ended, all you seen was Shanquilla fall down to the floor and just limped over. And right then and there, she was dead. And they trying to make it sound like it was like, oh, she died from alcohol poisoning, and they seen that she was brutally beaten. The family even had another autopsy done. Why aren't these people been in jail? I don't care. They were there, they saw it, and then they lied, and they came back without her. Okay. Especially that boyfriend Khalil, or whatever the friend name was, who left her body in Mexico without waiting to see if he can find a way that she can return back to the United States with him. And that's the same way I feel about this young lady here. If this was some kind of unaliving that she did to herself, this Joe guy, whatever his name is, McCain, why did he not stay with her? And to make sure, with all the money he supposedly have, being this million billionaire, that he will make sure that her body could get back to the United States with her family. All that proves he's guilty, and all that proves that he did do this, and he planned this, and he probably thought by just saying that she committed suicide, that was just going to just throw everybody off, like it really happened that way. But you took her to a third world goddamn country where she had no way of finding her way out of that place. And all we know from the phone calls and all the other things that she was probably facing, she was probably trying to get away from you because you was probably trying to harm her then. And she was probably trying to find herself to safety. And they took her somewhere to separate her from you because you probably was already beating on her. And you took her there so you could do it and get away with it. Ain't no way in the world you gonna think I'm going to be. Ain't no way in the world you think I'm not stupid to believe that this man didn't kill that woman already in that room and paid those poor people who were there, those Africans. Somebody gonna tell the truth because they probably already know this already happened before, and I believe that it probably already has happened before. Remember, this man did not come from money. He came with a dark past. And he found a way to make money so he can prey on women like this. So he can prey on divestors. That's what they call themselves. The black woman looking for the rich white man. They know what you're looking for and they know how to put it out there so they can catch you. Don't think he didn't plan this. And I'm pretty sure he probably done this shit before. With people get money, some people, not ain't say they didn't inherit the money, but I'm saying money that they just basically came up from the ground with. And they have this fantasy. And sometimes they have this kind of, thing about them. This fetish. So, and not just only just saying he's because he's a white man. We saw gangster movies. That's the reality. With money, there comes wickedness. And it comes sometimes evil. A lot of evil. People can pay to keep people silent. People can use their money to make people lie. And I'm just praying and hoping that there is some good Tanzanian who might have been there, working there, or witnessed what was going on in there, and is willing to tell the authorities in the United States of America, not in Tanzania, but he or she will be glad to be honest enough to say that young lady was dead before they even removed her from that room. And they had to concoct a story that she committed suicide and that look at all the time it took for him to respond to the family. And it didn't even come from directly him. It came from somebody that security or whoever that went in the room and found her dead all of a sudden. That they left to go get a charger. And when they came back and they knocked on the door, and when they went inside with their spare key, she was unalive, unresponsive. Make it make sense. Hmm. Hmm. Then it was another incident that took place, and I didn't even talk about this one because maybe I felt like I didn't talk about it because I didn't think it happened outside the United States, but it did. It happened in the United States on some young woman, young black woman. She was attractive. Went on a dating site, met a date, white dude. She was a black woman. Brought him back to her apartment. Somehow or the other, she ended up some kind of way dead. And he claimed they didn't do anything, but then they find a condom there. And there was alcohol, but who's saying he didn't put something in her alcohol or drug her, whatever. or they could have been doing cocaine. She got high, whatever, passed out, and it was the end of her life. And nobody brought this man to justice. And he was online dating this woman. And I'm going to try to look up that story and bring that story up too. These black women, young black women that think because they with white men, they're safer and they're going to have a better life. The grass is greener on the other side. I'm not saying just date any old black dude, but before you can just like put every black man in one lump sum and say they all act a certain type of way and they all just treat black women badly, I can't agree with you on that. Now I know I had some disrespectful ones in my life before, but I'm alive. That's important. I'm still here. That's what you got to look at. No, sometimes things ain't going to work out. You get to date somebody, and sometimes things are just going to get crazy. But at least you get out alive. That's the most important thing. Because one thing you don't want to do is end up somebody getting that phone call. It could happen at any time. It could even happen with my own husband. I still keep my eyes open. You know what I'm saying? The chain of anything. But see, one thing I don't base my relationship on is money. It's never been about money with none of my partners. Okay? Everybody that I've been with, it's always been about true to the game. It's always been about me being true to myself. I wanted to be with you because I liked you. I wanted to be with you because I found you interesting. I wanted to be with you because you treated me nice. I wanted to be with you because you wanted to be with me. But it was never the money game. It was never about the gram. It was never about the beauty. It was never about none of that stuff. Now, of course, I'm going to make myself look presentable and attractive. Like, I ain't gonna make myself look attractive now because I'm over here talking to a bunch of strangers. I want to look as ugly as anything when I'm on this talking to you because I'm not on here looking for anybody. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, appearance is everything. But I'm just saying, like, some women out here today, especially young women today, is all about the bag. Okay, all about glamour, beauty, luxury, extravaganza, and all of that. It is not about the true heart. It's not about finding somebody true to you and you being true to them. It's always about fakeness, phoniness, the fake weaves, the fake eyelashes, the fake acrylic nails on, the fake booties, the fake boobs, the all the cosmetic work you get done to your body just to look a certain way, all the unnatural stuff you do to yourself just to look a certain way, which I ain't never go through that much trouble. If you already attractive, why you gotta put so much extra to it? Ashley was a very attractive, but her face was very young when she without makeup. She looked like she could be about 16, 17 years old. So I guess she put the makeup and stuff on to make herself look older. But if you saw other pictures of her, Ashley didn't look that old in the face. She looked like a very young girl. She looked like at least 16, 17 years old. She didn't look like she was 31. And I feel the same way about Shanquilla. Oh, it's definitely Sade is a little girl. She was 19 years old. So she probably looked when you saw her like 15 or 16 years, or maybe even 12, if you could say, if without the makeup. But with the makeup and the lashes and the nails and everything else what comes along with their appearance makes them look more and more older than what they really are. And you can look at Ashley even with the makeup on that she looks like a very young person. And she didn't look like a person that wanted to take her life. She looked like a person that enjoyed life. She lived it to the fullest. I saw her hugged up in one video. She had some brother, a thug on her arms, a brother with all kind of chains coming down his neck, and they was out having fun or whatever. And I don't think she had a problem dating black men. I don't think so. I think she just wanted to go out and have fun and enjoy life and meet somebody that was going to be good to her and meet her standard of living. I don't think she was really being a divester. you know, I don't think so. I think she was just out having fun, like most young women want to go out and date and enjoy life and show off all their beauty and everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. But these days, it's not health. It's dangerous because you got these dangerous characters out here. We got these people with a sick mind, a sick fetish. They watch too much social media, or they on social media a lot, on watching certain things and want to try and see what they could get away with. And that's what they do. And I don't think this man, this is the first time that he took some woman to some foreign country and unalived her. If you got to think about some of these women that you now find that are missing. She's 16, she's gone, nobody saw her again. She was 18, 21, 30, she went somewhere, nobody saw her again. It happens every single second and every minute and every hour. Some woman is going to be unalived and missing. But while I'm on here, I bring more and more awareness to put the fear of God in you, that you be careful wherever you go. I don't care if he's across the damn street. You call your mother, your father, your uncle, your cousin, your whoever, and you let them know, look, this dude across the street I'm seeing, I'm just going to go across the street. That's, yo, sometimes that's what you got to do. And these days and hours, these weirdos today, you're going to say, look, okay, I'm going across the street. I just called to let you know I'm dating the guy that lives across the street. His name is Blase Blase. He's about give a description of this character, give his description, what kind of job. If he told you he got a job or whatever, if he don't got a job, I wouldn't be going across that street. But I'm just saying, I don't give a shit if he live next door, he live across the street. You tell somebody who you out with tonight. So somebody will be aware in God in case anything happens to you. Somebody know my mother and them used to say that all the time. My mother said it or my elder said it, when you leave the house, I want to know your whereabouts. Let me know your will. Call me when you get there. And I remember when I ain't have no cell phone and I was traveling from the Bronx to the Brooklyn, and I could have been no more than 12, maybe 13 years old, but I still learned how to follow directions by myself on the New York subways, at the train station, waiting for the train, traveling to go see relatives in another borough. And we didn't have cell phones. All we did was follow the voices that gave us the instructions. Don't talk to no stranger. If you get lost, you can ask somebody for help or directions or whatever, but be careful who you ask for these directions or anything of that nature. I will walk and stop and say, excuse me, can you tell me where so and so block is? Oh, you can take 4, 3, 4, 5 blocks. I would be careful about the people I would ask. You know what I'm saying? That would I would ask a nice little lady, old lady that's in the neighborhood, even an elderly man somewhere, if I needed to know directions, or I'll ask a woman or somebody to help me with directions to get there. But I wouldn't talk to just anybody. There's times I had to go on the bus ride, trips and everything to go travel, to go to another state, to go visit my grandmother and everything down in South Carolina. And I remember those bus trips. Woo, Lord, on that Greyhound bus. Boy, oh boy, the stops you used to have to make, the people you would meet and everything. And you'd be surprised, some of the risky things that I took on my way to visit grandma. Meeting strangers and talking to strangers, even bus drivers, whatever. And guess what? I'm still here. Due to the fact that somebody prayed for me. And sometimes those voices from your grandmother or from your mom, from your mother, from your grandmother or whoever was giving you instructions. Just like the story used to be told, and I used to teach it to my kids in the classroom, which I miss teaching. I miss it, but then I don't miss it. You know what I'm saying? I miss it, but I don't miss it. But anyway, I'm just saying that I would tell my kids the story of Hansel and Gretel. And of course, that story of Hansel and Gretel, we all, if you could remember, those of you who my age, in your 50s or maybe 60s or whatever, you would know the story Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel, father remarries and he gets this new wife, and the new wife don't like the children. So what he tries to do in that case and everything is he take the kids out. He gives them some food to keep them going for a couple of days or whatever, and he leaves them out in the woods. So what happens, or was the father, no, it was the stepmother, she did it, she loses the kids. But it was lucky, it was the lucky part about it was that one of the kids left some, had some breadcrumbs or whatever, that they was able to use that as a way to find themselves back. But because they was in the woods somewhere, they didn't know that animals will come and eat the bread. So what happened is that as they looking and they getting hungry and they getting tired and they lost, they see this house, and they go to this house that's supposed to be filled with all this beautiful, with the candy and all kind of sugary desserts or whatever this house is made of. So Hansel and Gretel goes to the house, and when they get inside the house, it's an elderly woman there. And what this elderly woman does is she invites them in to feed them. And they, plus they hungry kids and everything, and they figure, oh, she's it's safe because it's an elderly woman, and the house had all these desserts and food and everything, and they were hungry. They kids, they out in the woods, they lost. They find some place they felt they were safe. Come to find out, the elderly woman was trying to fatten them up so she can eat them. The whole moral to that story, when I teach it to my children, is I said, stranger danger. It was a story I used to teach to my pre K children, pre kindergarten and kindergarten classrooms. Not really the early young kids that age, because I read stories. I used to read books to my kids all the time to keep them engaged in reading, and my kids loved it in the classroom. That's one of the things I enjoyed doing the most, was reading stories to the children. Let them sit around me and I read them books. They ask questions. I ask them questions, and they give me their answer. And I will ask. We had a lot of fun, and I would also teach them how to find literacy, with literacy and everything. How to identify what words from what we read, what words did we get in the story. I had all kind of strategies to teach my children, but one of the things I know is teaching was about stranger danger, which in these some places I worked, the teachers they had didn't teach them nothing. Let them play all day and just do activities with them, and that's they teaching strategy. No real teaching them weather, the calendar, teaching them social behavior, how to act when somebody do certain things to them. And sometimes I don't know how to really teach on that level, because every child is different. And what you get from home is different from what you get from the classroom. So I always say parents are always their first teachers. So some things I would rather talk to the parents about to see how I can work around the situation when it's happening in my classroom. I would rather talk to an adult than to talk to a child how to handle, to solve their problems. I would actually want a parent to work along with me so we can work together for whatever child in the classroom we having a problem with, of hurting other children, or if the child is being bullied by another child, then I will have to sit and have a conference with the parent of the child that's doing the bullying. Okay, see what we can do to help to resolve that problem. But other than that, I don't know how to teach that to a child. Children don't understand. I mean, you could say things to them and they go right back into the situation again. Some children just do that. Oh, he hit me. Then I'll tell them, go you find another friend then. Or they don't want to play with you. Like certain things I would try to teach them to say to them. But if I'm not communicating with the parent with it, and it's not going to get resolved in my classroom. So it was a way I try to resolve it more through the parents than trying to do it through the child, or just me one on one with the child. No, I would have to talk to that child's guardian, or the parent or the guardian, and see what solutions we can come up with to resolve that problem in the classroom. Yeah. But anyway, like I said and stuff about Hansel and Gretel, it teaches you stranger danger. Don't go to nobody's house. Everything that looks good on the outside isn't really going good on the inside. There's a lot you can get from that childhood story of teaching it to children. I would say that's a good lesson to teach a child from preschool, pre-K, all the way up into elementary school, whatever, about stranger danger. What's on the good outside look good may not be good on the inside. That's Hansel and Gretel. And then teaching them about Little Red Riding Hood. The story about Little Red Riding Hood was don't talk to strangers. Because when the story was being told to Little Red Riding Hood before she went to go visit her sick grandmother, her mother packed her grandmother some food and she gave her some eh, um, instructions. And before she left, she says, while you go, she want to wear this little red whatever. And she told her what path to take and also not to talk to any strangers. What did Little Red Riding Hood do? Little Red Riding Hood wears this bright red jacket, and that's what she wanted to wear to go visit Grandma. She ended up not taking the path where her mother told her to get to Grandmother's house. She takes another path, another way to go visit her grandmother. And she runs into danger. What kind of danger she runs in? She runs into a stranger, which is the wolf. She runs into the wolf. You got to tell it on the children's level, okay? So we know what wolves are when we talk about adults. You run into people. She gives this wolf all this information. I'm going to visit my grandmother. She's sick and da 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 da. And guess what? When she gets there to the house, the wolf done took over the part of being grandma. The wolf is laying in the bed like it's grandmother, supposedly ate grandma. And now Little Red Riding notices that something is different about this grandmother. It ain't the grandmother that she recognized. And that's when she realized it was the wolf. And thank God it was the woodcutter who was out there to come and save her from the screams of being attacked. So the story is don't talk to strangers. And when your parents give you certain kind of directions, take those directions. Unless it's something else that you have to take another route because there's some danger ahead on that route. You know what I'm saying? If you have to use your senses to say, hey, I better go this way, because sometimes you got to take the detour due to the fact that there's some traffic going on or there might be an incident that happened up ahead and it's being taken care of, so you might have to go another way around. But other than that, if your mother give you instructions to do something, at least try to listen and don't try to do it always your own way. Even the Word of God tells us that because God instructs us too each and every day when we pick up that book and we read it. We know God is giving us instructions each and every day of our life. That's why they call it your daily word, your daily bread. Live on it every day of your life. Eat if you going out your house, even while you in your house, anything can happen. You still want to get up and pray. We said I'll always get up and pray every morning with my subscribers here, my followers here. I thank God for each and every last one of you that come here. And I'm just glad that I'm getting around to some people. I'm not going to get everybody, but at least I'm getting some. And that's the most important thing I do daily, each and every day, to give you something that you can learn and live by. It's up to you to take it, but I just try to offer you that kind of advice. Seeing that things like this is happening now in the world that we're living in, it's too much social media. You don't really know who these people are, these strangers. People or young people are out here dating online, which I find very disgusting and very foolish. And I don't think that should even ever happen. That shit. Well, remember people used to go through the Dear Abbeys and back in the days, and people would circle people on in the newspaper that they would meet them and start dating them. I had a coworker who did that, that met some man from the article, dating articles or whatever. That's how they used to do it back then. But these days, social media, they doing catfish people and everything. They giving people fake identifications of who they are. Could y'all excuse me 1 second? I'll be right back. I just need to go potty for a second. So y'all just bear with me. I will be back. I'm going to entertain you, let you listen to some music while I go potty. Just give me a second. Sparkles and dust. Watch this now. Hey, wanna get me hot this year? Where them a go do? They hold me. Wanna get me? Wanna get me wicked this year? Not even water can cool me. And the mercy. Wanna get me hot? Wanna get me hot? Wanna get me wicked, wicked and never did you check it? This and again, damage. Woo! It's that weather, y'all. You know, I used to like that song. Those were the days. Those were the good old days. You could go and listen to a good reggae music in New York, boy. You used to sit outside and enjoy the life, you know. But now you got too many people living here that are just weird and you know, they just don't blend into the United States culture, and it just takes away all that, you know, that beauty of this country. It just takes away the beauty with certain people just are not meant to be over here. That's it. It's just not meant for them to live in the United States. They come with different ideologies and changes and customs that they still carry with them from their own country. They need to stay in their own country. But anyway, like I said, because it's annoying, you know, especially when you're used to a place where you live and it was like a certain way, you enjoyed it, it was beautiful. Then all of a sudden, a different group of people come to the United States. They start letting in certain types of people, and they just change the fun and the culture. And I believe that these people came with these kind of dark spirits, and they brought these spirits into the United States. Like, I never heard of women just being unalive the way I've been listening, seeing it happening lately here in these United States. And look at how it's been happening lately. A lot of times they taking them to foreign countries and they unaliving them. These women going to Dubai and you know, all these third world countries and stuff to go visit. I stay out of them places. People want to do it, you go ahead and do it. Y'all ain't gonna change my mind about nothing. I'm 60 years old, so that ain't gonna work with me. After 60, you ain't going for everything they try to sell you out there or try to tell you how to live out there, because you already know what to live by. You know, you already know the deal. You just want to just be here as somebody to tell them the story as they go along, It's up to them if they're going to receive it. They want to walk a butt into danger. Do they want to go into that situation? Then that's on them. But as long as you sit and you give them that I'm sorry, the directions and the right way they should go. Now I say read your daily word every day. Always pray before you leave your house. Pray when you come home. Pray at night. Pray. I ain't talking about you gotta do all that loud, crazy praying in the street. Sis, I stopped just to thumbs you up. Hi, Derek. Derek White. Been saying the same. I have been saying, Amen. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know, I don't. Ain't nobody gonna change my mind about how I feel about what I see out here in this world. I'm just not gonna change my mind. I might try to change the way I say it, but I'm not gonna change my mind because I know this is what happens. You know, it's not like it's new to me. I brought back up the Shanquilla stuff because this happened already. A young lady went off, but she didn't go off with a date. Well, she went off with some friends, supposedly with some friends. They planned this trip to go to Mexico. They got there to celebrate birthdays in the month of October. And in that time of the year, and you remember in Mexico, it's called Souls Day. They celebrate souls. And in Mexico, a state like Mexico and everything, they actually unalive women. They call it femicide. A lot of killings go on with women at certain times. Not saying they do it at a certain time of the year, but sometimes women being unalived in certain places, they don't take those crimes seriously. And in a place like Tanzania, which is a foreign country, a third world nation, and I believe the religion in Tanzania is Islamic. Okay, the majority is Islamic. Mostly in those third world countries, especially in and East Africa, most of them are. Besides, I think Ethiopia, but I think the most of their religious practices out there is Islamic. So why would I want to go to an Islamic nation when when I'm first of all I'm American and second of all I'm Christian? I wouldn't step dead foot in no country that's it's okay. People get no. I see the shit that goes on in the United States of America. I don't want no parts of it. Okay, I don't even want to be in their country. I don't give a shit how beautiful it looks. I don't care all that beauty on the outside stuff, but we'll stay there a little longer with no goddamn money, and you see how beautiful it is. At least here in the United States of America, I got my family here. I got my friends here. People I know I'm familiar with. Wherever, I'm familiar with a lot of things around the culture here. I'm familiar. I ain't going nowhere just for vacation, just to go and have a good time or whatever, and then get broke or get killed or get whatever. And no, that's not the way I want to live. If I'm going to visit any country, I'm going to make sure they got some culture there that blends with my culture. I'm not going in no damn country where they have women that they unalive and they don't really take women death seriously in some of these countries. They didn't take Sanquilla's life seriously in Mexico because she was a female. It's called femicide. A lot of women go unalived and they do nothing about it. Automatically they make it blame the woman. You know what I'm saying? And in these foreign countries, especially Islamic, they have a certain way that they treat women. And the way this young lady was dressing and the attire she would wear with her boobs hanging out and wearing things on, you know, not supposed to be exposing yourself in certain places in the countries and everything. We don't know if Joe could have did it or maybe somebody followed her to the next room, but I believe Joe did it. You know, there ain't no way I'm just thinking it's just, or Joe had somebody else do it, whatever. But I believe he did it, okay? Because of the way he was moving. The way he was moving made him suspect. Because when he called the family about her death, and then how he went to his social media and how he deleted stuff, and then on top of that, how he just not, you know, tried to even console the family and tell them and everything that, you know, what happened, if that did happen, how he gonna make sure he stay around and get some autopsy done and make sure that she gets back to the US. Oh, this again? This is going to go on for now. Watch 272. It's going to go on for a while because it's still in the system of a lot of people because we saw that this has happened before. It didn't happen in the sense of like Shanquilla case, but it happened. She was in a foreign country when she was unalived, and no justice was done, and how the Mexican government handled the situation. And Tanzania, they don't seem like they're handling it very well either. They trying to look for it to die down so people could forget about it and just move on to the next person. But we want to keep this story going. We want justice for this family. We want justice for the family. We want the family to see that this person who's harmed their daughter, or if he did it, okay, I ain't gonna sit up here like I said. I ain't sugarcoating shit, okay? Because he took her to a damn foreign country, and that's what he meant to do. And it ain't probably his first time doing it either. And being that that country is a third world country, you could give them like $5 to keep a damn secret or to say nothing. They'd be so happy to take it and keep their mouth shut. Because that's how damn poor those people are living over there. Just because they work there don't mean they make money as they doing those tours and everything when visitors come. That's where they make that money. And guess who the money going to? It ain't going to the poor people that work there. They probably get some crumbs from the table, but not a lot. People get robbed and everything when they go on these resorts and these foreign countries and stuff. People get their hands chopped off their suitcase, think you got money in it. And when you get off the plane in Nigeria or somewhere, you got some crazy people in these third world, desperate, crazy ass, criminal minded people. They don't got a criminal system like we got here in the United States. Like we got DHS, AFP, all of these other kind of, Crime Stoppers. But they don't have that kind of system. So why would you want to go visit in countries where they don't treat women very well there? And they don't. And that's probably why they dragging their feet, and that's why they telling you the bullshit that she committed suicide, and we all know we ain't stupid. She ain't commit no goddamn suicide. In that short period of time, right after her birthday and her wedding engagement and enjoying all of that safari stuff, all of a sudden I'm gonna get sad and kill myself. All the way in a damn country, Tanzania, all the way into Africa. You gonna go all the way to Africa to unalive yourself. It's a whole lot of things went through my mind that could have happened. I think she was probably dead before she even got. It wasn't even that didn't probably even happen. I think people was complaining that they were fighting and they had to move them or whatever. I think he was harming her or try to get her involved in something out there that she just didn't want to take participation in. We don't know what he could have brought her out there to do on that island. We talking about Epstein. This is motherfucking Epstein. Taking young girls out there and turn them into sex trafficking. Next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of men laying up in the room with her. We don't know. It could have been more than just him involved. That's why her family needs to get that autopsy, check everything. Stop it, sacrifice. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, like I said, we, you got to go way deeper than the surface on this story because why would he take her to Africa? Why not to Jamaica or some other close by Caribbean island to enjoy, her birthday? And then give her a nice little engagement back here in the United States around her close family and friends. When a man is trying to take you away from everybody, isolation like that, I wouldn't think it's something nice he's taking you out there to do. You young, you beautiful, you have this great body. What else the reason why he want to take you away to a foreign land and propose to you. And he's half your age. Remember Russell Simmons' daughter tried to do that? B and Russell Simmons was concerned about it, like when his daughter was turning out to be. She said, "Well, I gotta go get me an old sugar daddy," and she went and got an old sugar daddy too. But he ended that shit real quick. Somehow or the other, that ended real quick. Mm-hmm. Because I guess he didn't have money to send her like she wanted, so she wanted to go out there and find some sugar daddy, and put herself in danger. And she went and found that 60 years old, rich, older man and everything, and that thing ended real quick because everybody on social media was was on it. Like, look, no, social media saved her damn life, and she's a celebrity's child. Okay, she was the celebrity child that social media had to blow that shit up and to stop that old man she was running around with. Either social media could either end your life or it can save your life. It's which one. It depends on whatever way you want to take it. When somebody is telling you, giving you advice like my old self is, like the old woman that I am, trying to talk to young people out here about protecting themselves and covering themselves in the Word of God. And I mean, keep yourself engaged in the Word and stay in prayer. Not saying you shouldn't date. Everybody needs a partner. Everybody needs someone. Everybody, nobody, I don't want nobody to be lonely and just dry up. I'm just saying, just be careful about who you dating. Take some safety precautions. Like I said, even if the dude is across the street, you going across the street to see him across the street. Call your mother, call your father, call your brother, call whoever. I just called to tell you I'm going across the street to go see my date. So, hey, these days, that's what you gotta do. Oh, I'll be okay. Or text them or let them know something like text. Say, hey, I'm just texting to let you know I'm at such and such and such. If I don't call you by such and such a time, send the police. Do a wellness check. Just show them this text. Do a wellness check. I mean, you got to take all kind of different kind of. You have to start using these type of precautions. These kind of safety precautions. Life 3260. You gotta just take some type of precautions. I'm going across the street. I text you, if call me at 5 o'clock. If you don't hear back from me at 5, call the police. I swear, it's just got that bad. Okay. Hey, how are you, April? April showers. Whoa. Where have you been? Life 360. I ain't doing the app. I'm calling your ass on. You gonna hear my voice, okay? You just gonna hear my voice. All that stuff, extra stuff, life apps, all that other stuff. We gotta do some old school shit again. You know why? Because this app stuff is getting out of control. Too many people are getting your information. And you don't know who's getting your information on these damn apps. So my best thing is to call you, text you, do my old school way. I don't want too much of my stuff out there. I just want you to know I'm out. I'll be across the street with my boyfriend, boyfriend or whoever. And if I don't call you back at such and such a time, call the damn police. You mothers are going out on dates and end up under live. You got to tell your kids, if I don't call at such and such a time, call the police. It's just the way it is today. People's minds are dangerous. And you think the people you think and they end up being the dong on predator. It's some people that's just waiting for a good time. Because look how he groomed her. Look how he groomed her. He went on certain places. He took her to Dubai, made her feel safe enough to travel, to go with him to damn Tanzania. Tanzania. A third world East African country that is banned from coming to the United States of America. Did you check that out on the sanction list of places that President Trump banned? He doing everything he can to keep y'all safe from going to these damn countries, and y'all still take your ass over there. Y'all not paying attention. Y'all all caught up in y'all Trump deranged syndrome when the man knows some shit going on in these countries where they doing certain things to young girls and everything else like that, and y'all taking visits over there, bringing these goddamn demons into the United States. America ain't that bad. Life is what you make it. You know, I love my country. I could go to, when I get tired of staying in Delaware, take my ass to Florida, go to the beach, or take my ass over to one of the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands or something for a damn vacation. But I ain't going to no damn third world country or to Mexico. I ain't never had no interest in those places. Every time you turn around, they don't have the government like they have over there, security, for, especially for women. Women need to do more research and stop being so doggone stupid. And stop looking for money. I don't care if you got to work in McDonald's, you got an honest paying job, you got something, you get some help, a little assistance here and there, and that's it. You don't need all that luxury to be happy. You don't need all that makeup to be beautiful. And all that weave in your hair, even though I throw on my little wigs and weaves and everything every now and then. But right now I'm in my natural and I'm beautiful. I don't care what nobody say. I'm beautiful. I'm feeling good about who I am on here, inside of here. It ain't all about this. Because I know beauty fades, but brains last forever. When everything else shuts down in your life, if the brain shuts down, you're dead. When there's no brain activity. I'm straight, right? Look, I'm 60 years old. I got a man. I don't need to be on here looking for nothing else, okay? So that's why I don't care looking like I do on social media. I put a bonnet on, okay? Wear your bonnet. You ain't got to be on here looking for no man. Just feel good about who you are. Be real with yourself. And people will draw to you. It says, if I be lifted up from the earth, I'll draw all men unto me. If I am lifted up from the earth, I'll draw all men unto me. How to reach the masses, word of very truth. For an answer, Jesus gave the key. That's right. You draw that type of energy. Be careful what you ask for. Oh, it says something here. I gotta read it with my glasses. Please have a word for me. I stood before Jesus in a dream, felt his love and all that, but I still willfully sin. Don't love him and live like a hypocrite. You know what? We all live some kind of way. We love Yahweh. You know, we all gonna make mistakes, Yahweh. We love. We all gonna make mistakes, you know. Jesus is with us every day. All we gotta do is just call on him whenever we feel a little discouraged, a little sad, a little depressed. We could sit down and read the Psalms. You could go to Psalms to make you feel better, to bring you some hope, to increase your spirit and decrease your flesh. And that's why I went on my fast when, you barely heard from me a lot on last month because I was doing my, I was in Lent. So during that season is when you have to allow your flesh to decrease and your spirit to rise. You know, you can't put nothing in your body, no foods, no alcohol, nothing that is going to harm the spirit. You have to you can't even be a part of conversations to harm the spirit. You have to stay cleansed and allow God to pour into you. And a lot of times we don't do that. We carrying stuff we don't even know we carrying because we don't spend enough time with God. We spend time with everybody else putting all kind of stuff in us, but we don't take time off to speak to God and spend time alone with him. You could do it once or twice out of the week if you want. Like I get up in the morning, I pray every morning. Even in sometime during the evening, I pray too. I pray over my food. when you go out to eat or you have dinner at your house or whatever. You always want to keep your spirit fed and good and feed yourself good stuff. Don't eat like I don't eat from everybody's platform. When I say eat from it, I don't like those spirits on me, like these things, these demonic spirits. I heard some people saying the horrible things about this young lady that just passed away, Ashley. And regardless of how she felt about how she wanted to go around and explore with herself and relationships, and she made some comments, still in awe. Don't say those things. That's harmful. It's mean. It's wicked. It's evil, and it can happen to you. You got to see people as yourself. This could have been you. This could have been somebody in your family. And I worry all the time about young women in my family that do go on dates and they don't bring these dates around and you question things or whatever. I just had a niece not too long ago staying out here, with my sister or whatever, and she was a piece of work. This online dating stuff and meeting these characters and had all kind of drama. We had to send her back, okay, because it was getting that dangerous and it was getting scary. And no matter how old they are, they still think they grown and they could just say things to you and feel like you wrong and they're right. And I'm like, no, you wrong, sweetheart, because you out here with people we don't freaking know, and we don't even know if you bring in danger to us. That's what you don't understand. So that's what you just don't bring around. You bringing people around that can do harm to even your family members. I mean, you dating people, like giving people information about you and bringing them around. No, you met this man online. Had my sister going really out there in some beach. He has a beach house. We get him. I said, girl, and he was a white dude. He was a white, and that's what she like. That's her preference. But I'm like, girl, you know what I'm saying? We was up all night texting her and telling her we made sure she was okay. We had to get her to the nearest hospital, wherever, to get her some mental health treatment and send her to her mother. Okay, and she's a small little thing. If you saw her, she's about the same age with Matter of fact, her birthday just passed not too long ago. She just turned 31. Just turned 31. Just like this young lady here. Just turned 31. They're in the same age category. And I'm like, and she looks, if you saw her, she only looked like 15. She's tiny. She's small. And she don't wear all of that. She's not she's not extra like that. She don't wear, you know, provocative clothes or anything. She doesn't dress like that. She dressed very modest. She's very modest, but she's not too wise in the head. When it comes to men and dating, she automatically gets all crazy with these men. She trusts them too much. She get too close to them and too quickly, and then she start getting crazy with them. And most of the men, like I said, she date are white dudes. She love her white boys, okay, and that's okay. That's what she like. That's what she grew up around most of her life. So that's what she likes. But I'm just saying, like the ones she be finding be some real crazy ones, like something like this. Except for one of the last ones we got to meet the Christmas before last. He was a nice guy. Seemed to really enjoyed her and liked her a lot, but she did some crazy stuff, so he had to get away from her. Okay, but that was about the only one that I met that I had liked for her because they were both tiny little people. They both looked cute together. They made a cute little couple. But, he had a business or something going on with himself and everything, and she was just after the bag. Some women, they want the bag. They want to get married, they want to have kids, and they want the bag. They want all of this stuff from a dude, and they don't want to work together, but they want him to work, give them this, give them that. And the next thing you know, they unalived. Or they got their ass whipped. They got kicked the fuck out. Or he moved on. Instead of doing that, moved on. But I'm just saying, y'all, just be careful with your children out there. Just stay on top of them. I don't care how grown they get, how much they tell you they grown. You even go through their phone sometimes and find out who they dated. I did that to one of my nieces too, but she's dead now. God bless her soul. I try to keep her alive, but shit happens. But I did that to her. She was only a teenager, and I went through her whole damn phone to find out who these characters was. She was calling up on the phone, or who was calling her. Okay, I went through her phone book, not her phone, but a phone book. You know, like how they have teenagers have their little diaries and their little books and this, that, and the other. I was calling family. Yeah, she dating this old man. I was on top of it. Everybody hated me for it, but hey, I was on top of it. I'm trying to keep these goddamn kids alive. You know, they get mad at you, but you know what? They blood were cool. Okay? You pray for them. You know you meant well. I'm not saying be wicked, be vicious, or nothing like that. Of course, everybody need their privacy, but at least have that conversation with your daughters and also your sons to keep his hands off the woman, and also not to take advantage of women, and also how to treat her. If she's not acting right, then leave her alone. Point blank, period. Don't try to force nothing. If it ain't gonna fit, don't force it. But other than that, teach your sons how to make better choices in girlfriends or dating or whatever. If she's a nice girl, if y'all like to go and do nice things, life forever for you. The two people stay focused on your careers and your goals and build a good life together. That's all it is. You can have a wonderful life. Your daughters, everybody want to see their daughter settle down. They want to have a good, see their family growing and the children happy and all that other stuff. That's everybody. I wouldn't say everybody's dream, but that's how life is supposed to be for us. We supposed to do things in a modest way. We supposed to do things in a respectable manner, and decency and in order. We're not supposed to be out of order with anything in our life. I mean, we could be out of order, but we got to know how to find a way to correct it and a way to go on and do it the right way. That's all. And like I said, getting married, you don't necessarily have to have the big shebang church. You can have a nice little service. If you're part of a church and everything, you can have your service at the church. Right during the service time. You know, make that part of the service for what day you could get married at the church, and you get your community together and your friends together. And people will probably even volunteer to even bring the food and stuff. You won't have to pay for like catering and everything else. You have your nice service at the church, and people want to come by and bring your gifts, give you cards and money and stuff. That will save you a lot of money and help y'all start your new life together without fighting over how much money y'all spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on catering and money for the wedding and drowns and this, that, and the other. She want to wear a nice gown on the day of Sunday after church. Yeah, you could do that. And she wears a nice suit and put a little corsage there or whatever. That could be cute too. Have your little flower girl. You ain't even have to spend all that kind of money. You could do it at the church with the pastor, and save you some money. Of course, you're going to give the pastor something for the church or whatever, but still, in all, you don't have to have all the other, you know, unnecessary stuff. That's how they used to do it back in the good old days. They had house weddings. One of my cousins got married in his house. Had the wedding right there, had the pastor come to the house and perform the service. And the person came and everything, the music and everything else. Okay? They were young. Him and his wife, they were very young. They ain't have no money, so they did it in the house. And they had the family come, and we had cake. And the wife, she's a good baker, so she baked her own wedding cake. And it was delicious. I went to the wedding. It was small, in the family, in the house. They had their pastor come and perform the service, and it was and on top of that, it wasn't even a house, it was an apartment. It was in an apartment. And they stayed happily married with their children for a while, but now they separated because he chose a different lifestyle and she moved on and whatever. But they still communicate with each other and the children and all that other stuff. But I'm just saying, people get married. If they want to get married, they're going to do it the right way. They're going to do it with meaning. They're going to come with being true to themselves. You know your money is your budget. You know you ain't going to have a lot of money. You probably got a job at McDonald's. He probably do a little something job, whatever. Y'all both broke, but y'all probably could be very happy together with that little bit, struggling together to make a good life with each other. Don't need all of that extravagant and end up unalive. Now look at this. Now I put this here. I don't know if you could read what it says, but before 60 weeks, okay? I think it was, I forgot how many days it was. I think it was like 20 weeks. I'm sorry, 20 weeks before she became unalive. In her comments section, It was a person by the name of Rob RR dash whatever numbers come behind that on Instagram, whatever it was, made a statement that he is buying you to control, and he said something about buying you to is not for ownership, not a relationship. Hey, M. Layden Rafik, I can't really get your name right, but I'm sorry. Okay, how are you? How are you? Um, Calix Starfocher, Maladen Bronovich, Alex. Okay, Alex, how are you, Alex? Yeah, so somebody has left a comment in her section. Yes, I see you, Alex. M. Layden. I see you, Alex. Yeah, so what I was saying, yeah, somebody had left in her comment section. He's buying her for ownership, not for relationship. And then when they heard about her death, and they put this post. I'm sorry, y'all. I am so sorry. I must have put the button down. But what I was saying, yeah, I found it, Alex. Thank you. What I was saying is that the person who left this post here, right here, okay, that I'm pointing to, they was basically trying to warn her. And when it happened, they said, damn. So I'm looking at this person who was one of her followers that used to watch her in her beauty, her content and in her beauty or whatever, because she modeled and that was what she did. She sold beauty. Yes, you hear me now? Good. I'm glad to hear that. So the person that actually posted that probably seemed like a sincere person, like somebody that watched her on the show and probably cared also about her for them to leave that comment. Or they must be knew something. I wouldn't say they knew something. They just said it and probably felt something was going to happen. You know? Yeah, she did die, Alex. I don't know if you know the story, Alex, but I was talking about Ashley. It's something that's trending right now. It's a store topic that's trending about her being unalived. Hold on. And yeah, so what I was saying, Alex, right? What I was saying is that the person who put this out there on her page, Instagram, and they left that comment was a person that knew they saw something in this person and they knew something wasn't right about it and they were trying to warn her. And it could have probably been an older man that probably already know the signs of these type of things and was trying to warn her. Some people were more like in it like, oh, some young girls, oh, they want that beautiful life and they want to be showered like that. But an older person is going to say, wait a minute, something ain't right about this. So it definitely had to be an older person or an experienced man or something like that that just knew that this man right here was going to do something to this woman. And that's why I pay attention to my comments. I pay attention to my people when you come in here and you converse with me and we have a conversation in the chat because that's how I get to know you. And I don't go without answering back to you. And some things I will answer, and some things I probably won't even feed into. But with her, I don't know if she had anybody monitoring her page. Obrin Obrinovic. Okay, Alexander Obrinovic. Okay, Alexander Obrinovic. That sounds Slovakian. I don't know if it's Russian. Is it Russian or your name? It sounds Russian. Oh, Serbian. Okay. I was close. I was close. Yeah. Significance in the name because I had students and some of my kids and everything, their families came from. I had kid. Well, boy, I had kids from all different cultural backgrounds. I worked with all different background and community of children. I just never stayed in just one place. I taught children, parents that were from all different places of the world. All different places of the world. My favorite center that I worked in, one of the schools I worked was Children of America. One of my favorite. We did the flag. The children had to recite the flag. They had the little graduation for the children and everything else like that. If any place I'm going to try to go back to work is back to Children of America. I want to go back there so bad. I love Children of America. That was one of my favorite places that I worked. But I don't think the woman that used to work there, Miss Clara, who was there with me and everything, I don't know if she's still around. No, she retired. She retired, and I liked her. I really enjoyed working with her. I don't know what it turned into now. Probably got some ghetto folks working there now. People that just don't care about America anymore. Got you. Yeah, so, yeah, she died, Alec. She died. Alexander. It was sad that what happened to this young lady. I'm just trying to bring some awareness about it, and I'm not sugarcoating on this channel. People could do what they. People could say, "That's my sister. She going out the door." Um. Yeah. So, like I said, Alexander. Oops. Oh, sorry. I had turned the camera away from me. Like I said, Alexander. Yeah, she did. Yeah, you. Yeah, she did understand. You understand, right? Just trying to bring some awareness about young women traveling, going in foreign countries with their boyfriends, or even going out of the state with friends, or even alone. Just be careful about where you going and do as much research as you can before you go into a foreign place. If you're really excited about going to these places in the world and stuff, I don't go to these countries. I stay away from these places. Okay, I just stay away because like I said, I'm in New York. I mean, I grew up in New York anyway, and I grew up around a lot of strange culture. Okay, I have, and I'll be like, I wouldn't want to go live in these people country. Oh hell to the no! When I see that many people running out of their country to go live in another country, oh no, oh no. If they trying to get out of their country, what the hell you think? Why you want to run there? So anyway, y'all, I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm gonna take a break for a minute. But if God's willing, I may come back with y'all later on. This topic is really popping. I'm gonna try to find out as much more as I can, and I'll try to come and bring it back to you and talk on it, so we can all like take pieces together This whole thing, it's gonna go on for a while, y'all. Because still, a lot of people, it brought back Shanquilla Robinson, and we're gonna get into her story as well. And I don't think that story should have ever went anywhere. I think there should have been some justice served for this young lady's life. It could happen to anybody's child, and if that happens to your child, you would want big lottery winner. Charles Christopher Comedy, big lottery winner. Oh, you a big, oh, well, good. Congratulations. Congratulations, Charles Christopher Comedy. Congratulations for your big winning lottery. You better hide that money. Shoot, you don't want nobody coming for your bag. Okay, you don't want everybody coming for your bag, Christopher. Hide your money, boo. Okay. So, like I said, I'll come back later. Hopefully, I'll probably talk about some more things on Shanquilla and why I don't think her story should have ever went away. I think there should have been some justice served for the comfort for the family, and also for this not to continue to go on, so that somebody else will be taken advantage of in that sort of way. We gotta stop these kind of crimes from happening, and the best way, we all know how to get involved to do something about it. So with that being said, your girl KC McDaniel, I'm out of here. You all have a blessed and wonderful afternoon. And God's willing, I may, like I said, come back later on in the evening. And I will see you soon. Bye for now. Bye, Alex. And bye, Christopher. And congratulations again. You all have a wonderful evening. Peace.